Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Georgiana, and today we're going to be working on our snowflake number 8. So as you can see, I've already started building my components, and I've kind of got an idea where I'm going. What I think I'm going to do is let me zoom in a little bit. What I'm planning on doing, plans are subject to change, is I'm going to glue them together at the base. What I haven't decided is if I'll go ahead and glue them the whole length or not. That's an option. And then to put this little piece, something like this, down in between them, or to not glue them all together and kind of put it up there. I haven't decided yet. But before I do decide, I wanted to go ahead and show you how to make this looped piece here. Now, we've done it before. It's just a matter of which tool we're going to use and how many loops we're going to make. And honestly, I don't even remember, so let me count them real quick. We've got this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, counting our first loop. So we're going to take one strip of 8.5 by, well, it's a 10.5 inch strip, sorry. So we're going to work on the small end of the comb, and we are going to skip every other tooth once we get our first loop done. So again, we're just going to loop it around those outside 2 teeth and kind of pull it in place and then hold it so I can apply some glue here. And we'll give it a good pinch just to hold it. Alright, so now we're going to skip every other tooth. So we're going to skip tooth 3 and go to tooth 4. We're going to skip tooth 5 and go to tooth 6. Make sure I'm telling you right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. We want to skip 7 and go to tooth 8. We're going to skip 9 and go to 10. And skip 11 and go to 12. And I think we need one more. So this is where it doesn't come all the way to the end. So we're going to skip 13 and loop around 14. And I'm going to slide it all down. So this is the one where the strip doesn't come all the way to the end, and that's okay. It doesn't have to. Let's put a little bit of glue here on the end of that strip. It's really cold in my studio, so the glue doesn't want to work. It's nice and thick. Alright, let's try that again. We'll slide that off and pinch our center point here. And I didn't get that very straight. So I'm going to do something I don't recommend. I'm just going to, you know what, I'm going to leave it alone. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, so that goes toward the center, and that goes toward the center. So now what I'll do is I'll glue these two together, and that looks more right. Those are the same size now. So I'll pick this up, I'll add a little bit of glue right here. And just push those together. Like so. I'm gonna, there we go. Hold it like that. I could get my tweezers out, I guess, and let them do the work for me, except the holes are a little, let's do it like this. I should just hold it. Quit playing with it. So the thing that I'm noticing when I'm looking at this is they look a little bit like dragonfly wings, don't you think? If you had a nice pearly paper or something like, I don't even know if you could get this, but a nice like holographic paper would look really nice. So that's that little lip there I didn't like, but that's okay. So I glued it. There we go. So this is where we have the decision making. Let me go ahead and glue this too, just so we can have a couple of them to compare to. I'm kind of trying to keep everything going in the same direction, so let's do it like that. Yeah. Let's put a little bit of glue down here. And we're going to slide that out of the way and just pinch those tips together as even as we can. Okay, so then we can kind of just lay these together and figure out, do we want to slide this little frilly piece up here, which I think would look kind of nice like that, or there's still this piece, which I'm not in love with, and I know it's probably the color that's throwing me off, but it actually doesn't look bad. Once it would be glued in, it would be, everything would be pressed together better, but I'm really leaning toward this piece. So do we want to do it in the dip right there, the valley, or do we want to do it in the valley between the two points, which I know is a little strange since the points are each have two. Well, if we did this though, they wouldn't be. So I like that too though. And then you could put something out here that's a little big. I've got some smaller pieces here somewhere. Oh, looky there. That might be the way to go. I won't use those colors necessarily. I'll try to use the lighter blue, I think, but that's not bad. So I will get to gluing the rest of these together. Then I will make this piece and come back and show you again how to do that. I think we've shown you before, but we'll do it again. This is just a simple coil that's, you glue the end down and then pinch the tip to make your teardrop. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. There's a smaller one. Do I like the smaller one better? Oh, maybe it's not smaller. I think it's the same size. One of them's just coiled better than the other. Okay, all right, so let me make some of those, and then we'll come back and we'll make one together, and then we'll glue those in and we'll add our coils and our teardrops. All right, guys, take a break, get yourself something to drink. We'll be right back. All right, we're going to make this last little frilly piece here in the middle. I don't really know what to call those, so we're going to loop around two teeth. And we're going to glue our loop. All right, so what you want to do now is you want to come up right next to your previous loop here with your strip, and you're going to wrap back around with that tooth there and come back behind, and you want to glue as you go. You don't have to, but I do find it's easier if you do, because otherwise it can come apart on you. So again, we're going to go right up next to that previous loop there, come down through there, and then back up and around that tooth, and we're going to go to the back and glue. And we're just going to keep doing that until we've used up most of our strip. And once again, this is a 10.5-inch strip. And you just keep going. And if you've lost count, you can always flip it over and count your loops. So your center loop, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, and we need to do 1, 2, 3, 4 plus the center. So we're going to do one more. We've already got 4 on the other side, so we're going to do one more here. And we'll glue that down. So I'm just going to find the middle, rip that off, and glue it down. Alright, I'm going to pull that off, and I'm just going to kind of pop out that first loop a little bit, just to kind of make it help it go in the right direction, hopefully. Now you're going to line up the tips there, and then you're going to pinch. Give it a good hard squeeze. So now we have all of those ready. So I still haven't decided if I want to, let me put my pen back in my glue because it's erupting on me a little bit. So I still haven't decided if I want to then put them here in the snowflake point or close the point and then put them here in the side, or even leave it open and put the teardrop in. Starting to get a little busy, but I do like it. I think I like it better with this glued in here. She's back, people. She's back. My crazy cat. Alright, let's start gluing that together. Well, I wonder if I should glue this centerpiece, these together first. No, I think it'll be alright if I glue that together next. So let's do that. Sorry, I'm making these decisions on the fly. The sun's going down. And I'm ready to move on to a different part of the house. Okay, I'm just going to slide that in there as far as it'll go without opening it up too much. So I'm kind of trying to keep the tips of this little piece that we're adding kind of even with these tips out here on the piece that we're adding them to. I'm just going to give that a few seconds to dry. And we'll go on to the next one. Now a couple of these I forgot to glue as I was going because I hadn't done one in a while. And they're a little wonky, but they'll work. Okay, make sure I put that in the right spot. Just shove that in there. Let me slide everything over a little bit. There we go. So I'm just going to put that in there, and again, kind of keeping it just below the tip of the piece we're inserting it into, just barely. Go on to this next one. After this, I think we will glue the main snowflake pieces together. There we go. That looks good. Just going to hold it. And then I will figure out how I want to do the last piece, because I'm still a little undecided about that. Okay. Glue here. Now I'm not gluing all the way up to the end. You could, I suppose. But I figure the way I'm sliding it in, some of that glue will slide up and kind of spread itself out there. That looks pretty good. Make sure nothing's stuck to my mat here. All right. Good press. And we've got one more of those to do. Oops. A little too much. Alright, to our last one here. Just going to slide that down. That one went in a little further than some of the others. I'm just going to try and gently ease it back out a little bit. There we go. Just kind of push it all together. All right, so now we can kind of ease all these pieces in toward the center. And I think we will need a center coil just for stability's sake. But that's looking kind of nice. So what that leaves us is these valleys here. If we want to put something in there, we don't have to. But I do like the idea of having something in there. Here I am playing with this again. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Then we still have our teardrops, which will fit in there really nicely. We also have our eye shapes, or marquee shapes, I think they are also called, which doesn't look bad. I don't know why I keep picking that up. I am not going to use it. The other thing we can do, let's glue these together. Gosh, I've got the dropsies. Just put some glue down here on the tips toward the center. She sounds so pitiful. I don't know if you can hear her, but she is quite the drama queen. Okay, I'm going to just turn those back in a little bit. You'd think she's mistreated or something the way she carries on. I'm sure it doesn't help when we laugh at her, but I mean, what else are you supposed to do? Alright. I know, darling. I know. Okay, just trying to bring these together. Let that glue take hold, and then we'll push it all together. Hopefully I glued them in the right. Yeah, I think it'll be all right. Just let that glue sit for a second. So I think I'm going to pause again and think about this some more. Let's glue this together. And then we'll pause for the moment and we'll come back and finish this later, because I'm still uncertain how I want to finish it. I'm just going to hold that there till I feel like it's stuck nice and good. That seems to be pretty good. So I'm going to see if I can take this one apart. And I need to make a center. I don't know if this is what I want for my center, but just rip off some of that previously glued piece here. So straighten that back out and rip off that little loop at the end. And find my tool here. So let's just make a coil. Okay. And this is a lighter blue. Let's just incorporate a little bit of that. Easier said than done. Let me get that going a little bit more. Okay. Here's a longer piece. Yeah, I'll save that and use the little one. Maybe. If I can get it in there. It's just not working here. Oh, here, let's try it like that. Okay. Yeah, let's do one more. And that might be about right. So we'll go ahead and pull that off of there. Just gonna hold on to it and see if it'll fit. Oh, it does. So we're going to add a little bit of glue here. Okay. I'm just going to give it a push into the mat here so it's all nice and level. And I'm just going to do a dry fit. Oh yeah, that works. Now, of course, I have to get it back out of there. There we go. Okay. So, let me find my tweezers here. I'm going to cheat a little bit. Maybe. There we go. I'm just going to add some glue all the way around the outside edge of this. And I'm just going to kind of gently ease that apart a little. Just slide that in there. Okay. Now hopefully that will stick. So it's almost kind of like an accordion or a slinky or something. It kind of stretches out, but then it comes back together. Alright guys, we're back. I've glued everything together. I've pinned the white portions of the snowflake together to close that V or valley, just so I could kind of get an idea if that's the way I wanted to go with this. And then I put some of the other components I'd made, inserted them into the tiny little V's at the end of these white components. I still think this one's too big. I like the way it looks. I think that loop would need to be a lot shorter, but I do think it's pretty. And I'd want these coiled a little bit more, so I'd use a longer piece for the bottom two curls and then a smaller loop, I think. This one's kind of the same thing. I'd want a tighter coil than what I'm getting right there, but I don't hate it. This is the same as what we've put in these other valleys. It's just smaller, and it kind of looks nice. It just kind of carries on that look, that same look throughout the snowflake, that kind of soft feathery look. And then we have this one over here, which it could work. What I think I would do is I would probably get rid of one of these, this longest loop. I'm not sure. I mean, it doesn't look terrible. Again, I'd do it in a different color. The pink is just I was playing around with the strip that I had and, you know, coming up with different components. So that's what it would look like if we glued these white components together all the way to the tip, or most of the way to the tip, and then inserted these other things. So if we take those out now, and if I didn't say it already, let me apologize. This is a long video. It wasn't intended to be. I'd gotten pretty good at making them short, but since I was doing this all on the fly, hadn't really made up my mind, it's kind of gotten long-winded, and I apologize for that. I will try to put in chapters or whatever they call it when I edit it, so that you can kind of fast forward if you want to. So now if we open those back up a little bit. Alright, I apologize for that. My camera quit on me and I had to let it recharge a little bit. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and removed the pins to open up these gaps here and slid in some of these other components that we had. And this was one I made when I was trying to make this little coil here, teardrop, and it looks okay there. I mean, I could use that. I'd be okay with that. This was a component that I had previously made that's just like these, only smaller, and it actually looks really nice there as well. Kind of just helps that design flow through from one to the other. And this was the bigger one, and I just stuck it in there to see what I thought. And again, you could use it. I'd push it in further than that if I were going to use it. But I think I liked the small one better, just because it was gave it a little more variety. So I'm going to start pulling these out, as I'm not going to use these. I took the time while I was recharging the camera to figure out what I was going to do. So this was one that I had made, and I do kind of like it tucked in there, but it was a little bit big maybe. So I redid it and I removed the bottom two loops, the one on the left and one on the right. So I'm going to pull that out, and then we ended up with this one. So we've got two loops on the right, two loops on the left, and then our center loop. And I think it actually fits in there pretty nicely. It'll work better with glue, obviously, but it gives it just a little bit more. It sticks out just a little bit further than the tips of these other ones, and I think it looks lovely. So I've gone ahead and made 5, and we're going to make the last one, the 6th one. And all I do is I used my husking board for this, and I just want to put a little loop in the end of my strip that will hook around the slotted pin for my husking board. So, I hope I made that big enough. I feel like maybe I didn't, so we'll see. Yeah, I'll take that glue off of there. Try that again. Okay, let's do it like that. Just gonna pinch that down, grab my tweezers and let them hold that for a second. So I'm going to slide this forward here and pull in the husking board. And as you can see, this is my pin set up. So my slotted pin is right here. It's on this last row before the rows start angling out. And then I went up 1, 2, 3, 4 holes from that. And then I just came down one hole and put a pin on either side and came down. Well, that's where it gets a little interesting. It's actually the second row up on an angle. Yeah, so you can kind of see there. So you can pause that right there so you can get your pin placement if you're interested. So once you do that, now I'm starting with the whole strip, but I don't use the whole strip. I use most of it. Let's see, I use all but 3.5 inches, it looks like. So I'm going to take my little loop here and I'm going to put it right over the top of that slotted pin. Now you don't have to use the slotted one there if you don't want to, if you're doing it like this. I just do because it helps me remind me that that's my home pin, so to speak. So that's always my first one and the one I'll go back to. So you're going to go up to through the center and wrap around this top pin and come back down. You're going to add a little bit of glue to the bottom. And you're going to wrap it around. Again, keeping everything flush. So you're going to go back up through this by the center there. So you're going to come on the inside there. You're going to wrap around that next pin and come down. So we're just working our way from the center out. So you're going to loop back around the bottom again, just tucking everything down flush with board, and go back up to that second pin there on the right and back down, and then you're going to add a drop of glue. Keeping it flush. We're going to go around the last pin on the left. What's my left? I'm turning the board, so that might look a little confusing. And we're going to go around that. Again, just pushing our strip down so that it's flush. Go around our last pin and add a little bit of glue. I think that hopefully that's good enough. Got some glue on my board, so it's sometimes hard to see what's on the board and what's on the strip. Now the good thing about these plastic boards and these metal pins is you can just work the glue once it's dried right off with your fingernail or another, stiff edge tool. So you're going to slide that up off of there, and it comes off pretty easily. And you want to cut off your tail. So see, this is all we had left, which is 3.5 to 3/4 of an inch. And then you're just going to give it a good pinch down here where you've been gluing it. And we're going to go ahead and assemble our snowflake. So let me pull everything back in this way and slide some of this other stuff out of the way. Okay, so we're just going to gently just kind of place these for now, and then we can come back if we need to use the pins to hold everything in place. But look how pretty that is. Now part of me feels like I should have started with the dark in the center and worked my way out, but I really never know what I'm going to do until it's done, so by then it was too late. So there you go. So once we get it glued together, that's roughly what it'll look like. And I think that's pretty. I like it. Looks a little lacy to me. So we're going to glue everything in. And let's just start right here. So we're going to add some glue down here on the tips and kind of up the side there of that first loop. And then we're going to gently slide that back in here till it's just barely sticking out past the white tips of these other looped pieces. And that's a personal preference. You can actually slide it in further if you want, or out further, leave it sticking out more. That's up to you. But I think that's what we're going to do. I like that. Okay. There we go. So we're going to move on to our next piece. And we're going to add our glue. And slide that back in. So again, I just want it to stick out a little bit past the white tip. Oops. I did get my spray sealer. It's not as windy today, but boy is it cold out there. But maybe I'll go out and try to spray one of these just for fun to see how it holds up. Alright, so we're going to do this one next. If I can slide that out of there. Here, we'll do it like that. And again, we're just going to add our glue. So guys, can you believe we are on number 8? We've only got 2 to go after today. Let's see, do I want that in a little bit more? I think that's pretty good. Grab a pen and hold that there. I'm going to spin my board a little bit just so it's easier for me to get a hold of some stuff here. Let's do it like all the way around. Alright, so grab this one now. So anyway, I know some of you have been really seeming to enjoy the Snowflake series, and I appreciate those of you who've commented and been so supportive. It means a lot to me. Hopefully you've tried making some of these, and I'd love to see what you've done. You can go to the Facebook group or the Facebook page. You can do either one, and share your stuff. And if it won't let you share, let me know, and I'll see what I can do to fix that. I'm kind of terrible at that admin stuff, but I do try. Once I know it's a problem, I'll try to fix it, but they don't make it easy. They change things all the time, and I'm at a stage in my life where I don't want to constantly be learning something new, like the same thing over and over, you know. Let's see here. Does that look good? I think so. And we got one more. So I know this was a long one. I appreciate you sticking with me. Like I said, I'm always kind of just doing this on the fly, but usually I'm a little bit more prepared than I was for this one. And then my camera quit on me, and it's just a whole thing. Alright, one more pen. That looks pretty good. So we're just finished letting that dry. Let's wipe our glue nozzle off. And I guess we should go ahead and pick out a gem for the center. For some reason I had put those away. I see a a nice bright blue one right there. That matches those petals that we just, or those components we just added. Take that out of there. And I think we've done a lot of them with this color, and I think it looks nice. Let's see, what else can I find? Here's one that's, I can't tell if it's a light blue or a light green, or yeah, I feel like that just kind of disappears in there. I like the blue one better. What's this one? Now this one is definitely got a blue tint to it. It's just a lighter blue. Well, that's pretty too. Okay, let's try putting this one back in. I'm going to get rid of that. Let's try putting this one back in and see what we think. I think I like the lighter one better. So, put that one in. So let's get our glue dots here. Put a glue dot on the back of it. And then we'll add a little drop of glue. That was more than a little drop, but that's okay. And try to get that centered. Looks like it needs to go back that way a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. I'm going to lift that up. Stick my head over it and see. Let's see. Well, that was too far. Alright, we're going to go with that. So I'm just going to push that down. And we'll put our pen back in. So you can see that we're just playing with simple components in various combinations and various sizes and colors, and we come up with these different looking snowflakes. And once you kind of find a pattern you like, then you can make as many as you like. Now, when I was making my components, I meant to actually tag each one with kind of a little picture tag. Okay, so you can buy these tags from Michael's or any place, you know, to tag your creations to sell, and they come on a little string. I don't have any here in front of me. Oh, yes I do. Hang on. So these little tags here, so you see they've got the string on them. So what I intended to do was to use these to kind of write down my pin placement if I was using the husking board or the comb or whatever, just some instructions, and then just kind of looping the tag through one of the loops so I'd have it. And I didn't do that, so now I don't remember how I did some of them, but you can kind of go back and figure it out. So maybe what I'll do instead is make some little cards, because you know I'd said I wanted to make a memory decks box for recipes. Well, I could do the same thing with these. I could get little cards. I could put my shapes on there with instructions of, you know, the length, you know, how many folds, how many pieces of or strips I've used, and that kind of stuff. I'm still trying to get that off of there. So if anybody's got a great idea on how to, or maybe nobody does it this way, I don't know, but if anybody has a great idea on how to kind of catalog your components, I mean, I could draw them out, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not real keen on that idea, just because, I mean, that would be the easiest, but anyway, so here we go. We have our snowflake, guys. Let me move that out of the way. Get that out of the way. Looky there. I love that one. It's so frilly. I feel like they're getting bigger as we go, and they are getting a little bit bigger, but that is so pretty and so easy. So let me know what you think, guys. I really love hearing it. I have no idea what the next two will be like, but I will try to use up. I actually made a bunch of these little frames, so maybe I'll try and go back and use up some of those somehow. But anyway, this is number 8. Oops, there you go. This is number 8, and I am really happy with the way that turned out. So I want to thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate all of you. Well, now I've gone too far, haven't I? All right, let me get it right back over here. So I've already got a video scheduled for next week. This one will actually be the week after. We have already reached 500. We are actually over 500. I think it was 503 earlier today when I looked. So I've got to get serious about giving a giveaway. So I really would love to hear your comments on that, on what you might like to win. And what I'll do is we'll do a video of what we're going to give away, and then everybody who comments on it will be entered in a drawing, and then I will do the drawing and ship you whatever we decide to give away. But that's why I would love to hear what you would like to win, because it could be anything. And I've mentioned some stuff before, like this series of snowflakes, or a set of Christmas cards. I've been making those too. I've got some of the pins that we've made. I've only done one video on those, but I've made a lot of those, so I can include a pin if you tell me your favorite color. Or the ornaments, which I do have, I think, everything I need now to start on those, except for my molds. I can't find my molds. So I'm going to have to go on a deep dive, because I thought I knew where they were. Can't find them. So, but otherwise, yeah, and a gift card. I'm open to a gift card too, if that's easier for everybody. That works for me. But let me know what you think. I like I said, I know this was a long video. I apologize, so I'll try to wrap it up here. I am so grateful for all of you guys, and I love sharing, because I love making this stuff. So it's just nice to be able to share it with someone. So thank you all for helping me achieve this goal. I've been thinking about what our next goal should be, and I feel like I should just make it 1,000, but 750, I feel like it's going to take a while to get there anyway, so I don't know. I'll probably celebrate 750, even though I really would just prefer to do it at 1,000. But we'll see. Yeah. I should be the indecisive crafter. I have a million names for myself. Okay. Anyway, guys, this is Georgiana. Once again, thank you so much for joining me, everybody, and I hope you have a happy, crafty day and a very Merry Christmas.